Hello class. In this video we're going to quickly review how to find the percent of a number. Now in our first example we're being asked to find 15% of 350. Now what you'll have to remember is in these short sentences is that this value over here is always equal to 100% since it's usually the subject of our sentence. So again we're being asked what is 15% of this value, which means this value over here is my 350. So what I'll be doing is I'll actually be solving this. If you saw the last video, I solved it with a double number line. In this video, I'll be solving this with ratios, since double number lines and ratios are pretty similar. So I can see that my 350 value is 100% of the value. Now, I want to try to get to 15% since that is the question at hand. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to find a scale factor. I'm sorry, not a scale factor, but a common factor between 100 and 15. Now, in this case, that's going to be 5%. And from 100 to 5, that's going down by a factor of 20. I'll be doing that similarly up here. And that's going to be 17.5. And to go from 5 to 15, that's just going up by a factor of 3. So 17.5 times 3 is 52.5. So I can say now that 52.5 is 15% of 350. So all I'm doing is really taking this what part out and filling it in with my new value. Now in our next example, it's a little bit different. It's written a little bit differently. Here we're asked 19 is what percent of 40? Now you'll notice here that we aren't actually given a percent value because it's asking what percent. So in this case, if you remember, this value over here, 40, is equal to 100%. And I'm eventually trying to get to the value of 19. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to find a common value factor between 40 and 19. Now 19 is prime, 40 has a couple factors, but the only factor that goes into both of these is just 1. Now to go from 40 to 1, I'll divide by a factor of 40. I'll do that similarly with 100. That's 2.5. And then I'm going to go from 1 to 19, which is going to be a factor of 19. 2.5 times 19 is going to give me 47.5%. So I can now say that 19 is 47.5% of 40. Now with this next example, you have to be very careful of how you read these sentences. 84 is 35% of what number? So here, we're actually not given what 100% is. Instead, we're given 35% and we're told to find 100%. So here, I'm going to mark down that 84 is 35%. I'm trying to get to 100% because I want to find out what this number is. So what I'll do is I'll find a common factor between 35 and 100, and you probably guessed that it'll be 5%. I'm going to divide 35 by 7. I'll do the same thing with 84, just by 7. And that's going to give me a value of 12. And to go from 5 to 100, that's going up by a factor of 20. 12 times 20 is going to give me 240. So I can say now that 84 is 35% of my new value, 240. Now in our last example, we have 320 is what percent of 200? So I'm not given any values here, I'm not giving any percents here, and the unique thing is you'll have to remember that this 200 over here, if you remember, is equal to 100%. But this value over here is larger than that, so we should already know that whatever this mystery value is, whatever it might be, it should be greater than it should be greater than 100%. So I do know that 200 is equal to 100%. I want to try to get to 320 since that's my value. So 200 and 320 actually have a common factor of 20. So I'm going to divide this by a factor of 10. So I know that 20 is 10% of 200. And to go from 20 to 320, that's increasing by a factor of 16. So 10 times 16 is going to give me 160%. So I can say that 320 is 160% of 200. Now, if you recall, you should be completing your retake assignment that can be found on Power Learning if you click the link on the bottom. If you have any questions, you can always ask for assistance before or after school, as well as during lunch. Thank you.